President Trump rejected the advice of his campaign experts on election night and instead followed the course recommended by an apparently inebriated Rudy Giuliani to just claim he won and insist that the vote counting stop, to falsely claim everything was fraudulent.
So that is Liz Cheney giving the political equivalent of like when people say an ATM machine and it's just needlessly repeating yourself. Yeah, it's Giuliani. He's inebriated. We get that. He's right now, he's somewhere and he's drunk. But anyway, today was all about laying out that they knew that Trump had lost. They knew that what they were saying was false. Now, why focus on this? Well, we're gonna get into a lot of the details about what happened today during the hearing, but this is oddly a very core part of it. There are some things that are objectively crimes, regardless of whether you knew they were crimes or not. And then there are other things, sometimes very consequential things that, I don't know, if you weren't sure it was a crime, maybe it wasn't. And so laying out that they knew what they were doing was false and that the efforts they took to overturn the election were illegal is weirdly very necessary in this case. And so I don't know how much of it you were able to watch, Viviana, but a lot of it was laying out testimony by a bunch of people in the Trump orbit that most of them at least were very clear that none of this was true. It was obviously BS, the arguments that were being made. They played the massive dumps video, those sorts of things, laying out that they knew that that stuff was false when they were saying it, which is an important part of the legal groundwork here.
I mean, I'm glad that they've done it because that's how you catch these kind of liars, where you catch them with their pants down. I don't know the right phrase here, but like,
if it's Rudy, I don't like it.
No, we catch him with his hair dye dripping down his face. It's sad because Trump famously doesn't drink, so it's like, how stupid can you be to like follow a drunk, right? Like he should at least been a little bit like, well, let's not go with him. Barr has said it. Even Ivanka has come forward and been like, yeah, we knew. And she's full of it. She doesn't know anything. Yeah, you had her on your cabinet, bro. So like, he backtracks quite a bit. This is important. Once we get this foundation of the fact that they knew they were lying from the beginning, that is going to definitely light the rest of that trail on fire. So I'm glad that they're doing it. It's very sad that we had people in the highest office listening to a drunk fool. Not the first time. Politicians are notoriously drunk all the time. So, it's not that shocking. And it's not shocking that Giuliani was drunk, poor guy. He has a problem, somebody should reach out to him. I think it's a cry for help. I mean, that hair dye thing alone at the landscaping. The landscaping incident anyway was enough comedy for, I miss it in a way.
Kind of. So why is this important, laying that groundwork? Well, it's because they at least seem to believe, and maybe this won't shock you, but it was the big headline of the morning. The members of the House committee investigating the Capitol riot said that they have uncovered enough evidence for the Justice Department to consider an unprecedented criminal indictment against former President Donald Trump. So they have to do this legwork because they believe what they're describing is enough to lead to this indictment. So Adam Schiff said, I would like to see the Justice Department investigate any credible allegation of criminal activity on the part of Donald Trump. Once the evidence is accumulated by the Justice Department, it needs to make a decision about whether it can prove to a jury beyond a reasonable doubt the president's guilt or anyone else's, but they need to be investigated if there's credible evidence, which I think that there is. So he's saying we have the evidence, we're presenting it, and there will be more testimony, obviously, where you'll see more of that. But something needs to be done. He does say, though, he's not gonna browbeat Attorney General Merrick Garland over whether he should indict Trump, noting that the committee has already laid out in legal pleadings the various criminal statutes they believe Trump violated. So they're enthusiastic, they're confident. They are also kind of saying, though, we're still in the same basic position where it is going to come down to what Merrick Garland and the DOJ are going to do. Whether they think there's enough evidence, whether they think, because they make these considerations about how it might influence things, how the right would respond. We know that Merrick Garland, the DOJ, these are about the most cowardly people on the face of the earth. They are always looking forward, they are never looking back. And when they look forward, they for some reason aren't terrified of the things that have already happening again. And so we are left with the only people who can be a shield between us and another insurrection maybe they'll act. Maybe, Viviana.
I am fearful that they won't. I think that this is important. This is showing intent. They're laying the groundwork so they can let us know, like, hey, they knew this the whole time. It's really important. I think they have all of the pieces of the puzzle, but even knowing that, I think at the end of the day, I don't think it's gonna come. I'm fearful that it won't come to much, and it is sad because it could happen again, and it makes a mockery of our system. And if Trump gets into office again, which he might. I don't think we should be surprised if he tries this again. He knew what he was doing. This is the framework to show that intent. This is the framework to show that on January 6th, him continuing to spew these lies was an intent. What he was intending to incite this crowd. He knew it was a lie. So this is really important stuff. We'll see if it even makes it in the history books in 10 years, John. I don't know. These days.
It'll be. So I mentioned that one of the top 10 things we're going to be doing for the members is top 10 moments in TYT history. Maybe this will make a spot on the top 20 in like 10 years. No, look, it's important. We wanna stop this from happening. Like when you look ahead to the 2024 election, which by the way, oddly enough, we're going to be doing a little bit later on today. It's because this is going to happen. Like we're gonna get there. He's gonna run.
He's gonna run.
So like we do need to be worried about Biden being the nominee. We do need to worry about the DOJ not acting. These are not just speculative like thought exercises. Like this is real life. We are racing towards it. We're in June of 2022 by the year. This year is already racing by. Candidates are going to be announcing in like 4-6 months, something like that. So everyone prepare yourself. And by the way, just to put a pin in the them thinking that they might be able to get these charges. I will remind you, I'm gonna jump ahead to graphic 7. Federal judge in California in March ruled in a civil case that Trump, quote, more likely than not committed federal crimes in seeking to obstruct the congressional count of the Electoral College ballots on January 6th. The judge cited 2 statutes, obstruction of an official proceeding and conspiracy to defraud the United States. Trump has denied all wrongdoing. Every single reasonable person in the goddamn country knows that he did those 2 things. But will there actually be charges? And if there are, let's say that Merrick Garland actually does act. Is it not impossible that the supermajority of conservatives on the Supreme Court just wipes the slate clean for him in some way? But if that's gonna happen, make them do that. If we are living in insane times, make them do the crazy thing.
Make them go on the record and do it. Yep, put it on the books.
That's what I say. Don't surrender ahead of time, Merrick Garland or the Dems. Make them do it because a lot of people don't realize what state our democracy is in. We gotta wake these people up.
Now, we are sleeping, John, and we need to wake up because it's very likely that he will run again. And if he's against Biden, we have no chance. Biden will not win again. He barely won this time with the DNC propping him up with every stick they could find, and he barely got through. So
and Trump being taken down by a portion of the pandemic where some people cared. We are way past that.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.